My wife Nanda and I and our kids have lived in this house here behind me for the last 25 years. And people sometimes wonder why we live here. We live in a little hamlet called Hollen, which is on Conestoga Lake. It's about 35 minutes from Waterloo and 25 minutes from Elmira. And it's a quaint little hamlet. There's about a dozen houses here and about 30 people. The interesting thing is that there was a time about 150 years ago where Holland was a thriving community with about 400 people. And then what happened is that the railway routed through Drayton as opposed to Holland. And then over a period of time, Drayton began to thrive and grow, and Holland slowly dwindled away to, as I say, about a dozen houses here today. Now, people sometimes ask me, why do you live there, and isn't it a little too far out? And there is a point to that. I know that there was a time, when I was traveling back and forth to Guelph every day that I lamented, not all the time, but there were times that I lamented actually living here because it was anywhere from 35 minutes to 50 minutes drive, depending on where I was working in Guelph at the time, that one way, and then if you double that, that would be, like a little over an hour to an hour and a half, almost 2 hours sometimes when you had to factor in filling up for gas and that sort of thing on the road. But I always resisted moving to town or closer to the city because it's such a wonderful setting, and the kids, they develop wonderful friendships with other kids in the neighborhood. And there's lots to do here. We have the lake right here, and we've got access to the lake. And for many years, we would take the kids boating, water skiing and tubing and all kinds of water sports during the summertime. And then in the wintertime, there's snowmobile trails that run right by here. And in the intermittent times when you're not on the water or snowmobiling, it's a very calm, peaceful setting. You go for walks around the cottage roads here, and you meet up with cows in the pastures, and with our neighbor across the way has llamas and donkeys and goats, and our neighbors to the one side of us here, they used to have chickens, not anymore, but I still remember at times the chickens getting out and traipsing over to our lawn, and then us having to shoo them back onto their side of the property. But anyway, it's, kind of, in Dutch there's this word called gewoon, which means ordinary. And in a way it's an ordinary type of existence here, but I've realized over the years that in some ways it's also extraordinary. From a realtor perspective, I wish that Holland that we could replicate this, on a bigger scale, because I think that there are many people that would be attracted to this sort of lifestyle. But again, there's a limited number of homes here and a limited opportunity to build homes as well. One of the good things, however, is that Holland is not alone. If you ask people that live here in this community, they might think that Holland is unique and that it's set apart that way. But really, if you think about all these other little communities that are sprinkled about, Sturton and Wyandotte and Tray Castle and on, there's all kinds of these little communities that are in some ways similar to Holland, certainly in terms of the peaceful setting and in terms of fostering a sense of community amongst the neighbors. I would say there are many, many places like that. And if you're at all interested in this type of lifestyle, I might not be able to find a place for you in the hamlet of Holland, but I could probably find something for you in one of these communities that's very similar. And again, most of these communities are within half an hour to 45 minutes from major centers like Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, and Guelph. Anyway, those are some of the reasons why I appreciate living here. There's lots more, and if you're ever interested in pursuing that topic further, feel free to reach out to me. I'm John Zwart, broker of record at Home and Property Real Estate. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again soon.